You have a chance to plan your trip. Check that website out and plan it around one of his parties. We have a couple of great nightclubs in town, BBW Club Las Vegas, as well as Plush the nightclub. Both are their own entity and both have their own feel and their own style, but we have all had a super terrific time at both places and love them both.
If I could take Jacob's DJs and
throw them into Juanita's party place.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right.
I think the two of them need to hook up and create a mega night.
Never happened.
I know, but
you know what's interesting is that I know how Juanita advertises her parties, and I know how Jacob advertises his parties, and they both get totally different BBW crowds. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting because there's a handful of us, like us, and some other people that are there at both venues, and it's just really interesting how it seems like some of the people just don't go back and forth between the two clubs.
Right.
So it's that's why it's important for Sin City Bounty to mush them all together and make them all happy. It's our job, girls. Our destiny.
One day.
Is it ketchup time? Because I want to talk about my ketchup.
Yeah, talk about your ketchup.
This week, Miss Bella Benz, we're going to have her on the show sometime. She's another one of our little porn girls. And Eliza Allure and we did a shoot this week where, we're making clips. By the way, my clip store's doing really good. But we went to the Heart Attack Grill. Now, have you guys ever been to the Heart Attack Grill? Either of you?
No.
Okay.
No, but I want to go because I want a butterfat shake.
Oh my God, I had a butterfat shake.
Are they as good as they
I mean, you have to eat it with a spoon. Forget it being a shake.
I will not eat that.
Why?
Well, first off, I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, so you can't.
But just the sound of it, like I like butter on my toast.
Right.
Not in my shake.
But you know what? It's a butterfat shake. So it comes with a pat of butter on it, but you take that off and the shake is wonderful. Who's going to eat the fucking pat of butter? It's just for
me
look purposes. Oh, hell fucking no. I wasn't eating that pat of butter. So anyway, if you weigh over 350 pounds, you eat free.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scale outside and a scale inside. When you walk in, they put a hospital gown on you. You can get Jell-O shots out of syringes, which I did have one. You can get, and the only thing they serve is burgers and hot dogs with chili and bacon.
Fries, right?
Fries, chili cheese fries. So we went down there and we went outside, and so we took the smallest girl, which was Bella, and then Eliza, and then myself to get on the scale. Well, I didn't know how much I weighed, you guys. I knew what I weighed last time I weighed, so I expected me to be around the 380 mark. I was 358. I shocked myself. So it was funny because I got on it outside. Well, when you get on it outside, you trigger the bells on the inside if you're over 350, okay? So, and then in this little corridor where this thing is, all these people are in these outside restaurants. They see that the scale's over 350, and they're like, yeah. So then you go in, and if you want to, go for the free meal, then you got to get on the scale on the inside, and it's the same scale. And then the owner's walking around in a doctor jacket, and now you guys.
He's a real doctor, by the way.
No. He would, if you go back, there's a thing on Nightline. If you go back, in fact, the bug guy and two people we know are in this video.
Oh, yeah?
Nightline had called a bunch, had did a thing on Craigslist to come down. But there was one of his spokespersons, the first spokesperson for the Heart Attack Grill, died of a massive heart attack at 29.
Yes.
So Nightline. And
they've had patrons who have died.
Right. Well, they've had 3 heart attacks. 1 have died and 2 have not. So
let me tell you, eating a burger does not trigger a heart attack.
No, it doesn't.
But it's just in an ironic place. It's not at church.
Oh, if you don't finish
your food, the Heart Attack
they
Grill.
spank you.
Oh, I am not finishing anything. I'm getting to-go boxes.
You got all these cute little women in nurses' outfits that are your waitresses. In fact, we even had a little person as our waitress, and she sometimes drives around in a little mini ambulance serving beer.
That is awesome.
It is a fun place to go, you guys. Really, you should go there. But seriously, if you go on YouTube, it's Nightline Heart Attack Grill. You'll hear the owner talk about the whole thing of the heart attacks, and he's got the ashes of his friend on the, what he says is like, we're not promoting bad health, we're showing you what bad health is, and he's full of shit trying to sell the place.
Just really quick, and then we'll go back to that, but somebody, Inkspot Stories in chat said, we were talking about the shakes, and he said a shocker shake is 2 shakes, 1 raspberry, 1 chocolate. You put 2 straws in the pink and 1 in the stink.
Oh God.
I'm down
Do
for
they
that.
have those
So
there?
yeah, so no, but you could get shakes with vodka, all kind of flavored vodka. I mean, I mean, you could order your burger. Like you could get a burger with 8 patties, and I'm going to tell you, the patties are not like your McDonald's. I mean, it's a nice. I just got a single because that's what you get free, and I couldn't even finish it. But it's a good.
Did you
I
get
mean,
spanked?
I did go get spanked. You could get spanked. We were needing to get back because we had some things we had to do, but it was a fun place.
Was
but
it just
then,
the burger, or did you get fries
I
with
got
it?
fries with that. I upgraded my fries to chili cheese fries. So,
I'm starving right
oh,
So
now.
you
I
guys,
know.
it's fun, you know. And then when I got in there, you had to get back on the scale, and then everybody in the restaurants, yeah, I'm like free fucking food, you know. So,
That's
and of course
awesome.
we filmed it all, so we can put it on our clip store, and so it was fun at the Heart Attack Grill this week. So, and then shot some more clips. Go to my clip store. There's all kind of very up close and personal clips right now up there. Then, what else did we do? Oh, took the kids to the pool on Friday. You know, sat by the pool. My air conditioner is going out the same time every day. I think Nevada Power's having problems.
Well,
But
we're not that far behind Southern California, and they have rolling
they
blackouts
do
every
have
summer.
rolling blackouts. You're right. So we'll see what's going on with that. But other than that, life is good. I'm getting ready for the bash. It is flying up here really fast.
Hmm.
I'm not ready. I've got a trip to California and 2 photo shoots the week before the bash.
Better get ready.
So I have no choice but to get ready. I'm going to start packing this week. Why do the laundry and hang it in the closet when I got to turn around and put it in a suitcase in a week?
That's
Bringing
true.
the suitcase in and putting it in the suitcase. So that's me, guys. What's going on in your world?
You want to go? Want me to go?
No, you go.
Okay. I am officially 5 days Diet Coke free.
Oh.
Whoa, really? And how is that working for you?
Well, on Friday I was gonna cut a bitch, but so Monday I try it all the time. I have a serious addiction to Diet Coke. Serious. Like I cannot function. I can't talk
Really?
in the morning without like having some. I drink it all day long. I'm lucky if I drink a little water too. I mean, it's it's pretty serious, and I've tried to go off. I try to go cold turkey, then I get the throbbing headache, and
You
so
just have to work through the DTs,
I
ma'am.
have to
Yeah,
work
the
through
caffeine.
the DTs.
Yeah, the caffeine.
So I didn't make a conscious decision to do it. I have made a conscious decision to stop buying cases for my house. And so I would just run out to 7-Eleven, which is on the street corner, and get a Bladder Buster Big Gulp. So on Monday, I didn't run out, and I went most of the day, and then finally I texted Mr. Toxie later in the afternoon on the way home, and I'm like, yeah, bring me a Diet Coke. I can't do this. So day 2, give it a little shot again, but I went to the movies with my daughter, which I'll tell you in a moment what I saw. Don't ugh. And so and then that was it. And so then Wednesday I was like, all right, let's do this. So I drink a lot. Mr. Toxie just texted me, but you're not cock free. I am Diet Coke free, not cock free.
You also just text me a picture of the
the
burger
burgers.
that is at the Heart Attack Grill.
Yum.
So that's what I was saying. Oh, so I've been drinking
Wednesday.
a lot of green tea,
Mm-hmm.
and Mr. Toxie makes it for me. He makes the perfect. I like my stuff weak, and he makes my green tea absolutely perfect. Like exactly it. When I try it, it's either too much, too little. He makes it perfect. So he's been keeping my green tea container full, and
Oh, he's so sweet.
you know, I'll run out and grab some. Like right now, I have a regular tea from Sonic, an unsweet tea because I hate, sweetener, with the exception of the
Diet Coke. But okay, aren't you just
so-
trading one caffeine for another caffeine?
Well,
or what
it's
is
not
it
the
about the
I
Diet
wasn't. I didn't
Coke?
care about the caffeine. The caffeine's not my concern. Obviously, I love my caffeine. I need
What-
my caffeine right
What
now
she's
to function.
addicted to is the
The
artificial
aspartame.
sweetener.
I'm
Oh,
addicted to the artificial sweetener.
I gotcha.
And so even though I continued with, and I purposely continued with my caffeine because I didn't want to go through the caffeine withdrawals, but I didn't expect the aspartame withdrawals.
They're
So
bad.
that's why on Friday, I mean, I had the worst day ever. Like the first 2 days were fine, and then by that third day, I mean, I'm not kidding. I was ready to cut a bitch. I was miserable. I was at one point, I was crying and not knowing why I was crying, and then I'm like, why the fuck am I crying? And then I'm
It was
angry.
like you were hormonal.
And then it was awful, and I just wanted to curl up and
Detoxing
That's
off of
it.
anything that your body is addicted to is really bad. I don't care what it is.
yeah.
No, you're right.
Detox is the worst. But
Yeah, it
if you
was
can
a-
make it through that, if you can grit your teeth and make it through the detox, the rest of it gets easier.
So I
Well,
did.
and-
I
and
mean,
it's
my-
like 7 days, right? If you can make
Right.
it. I know that's like when I was low carbing and you had to detox from sugar.
Right.
7 days, you were pretty much through
My
the
my
detox
plan
period.
isn't. I mean, I will drink some. I don't want to be dependent on it. So I want to get to the point where I can casually, if we go out to dinner, maybe have a Diet Coke with dinner.
Uh-huh.
You know, maybe have a Diet Coke while I'm here in the studio or something. But I don't want to need it in order to function.
I'll have you to know that we are Pepsi people in this building. It is
Yes.
Diet Pepsi,
I love
I
Diet Pepsi.
hate Pepsi.
which
Whenever
is why
I go somewhere and I say a Diet Coke, please, and they said we have Pepsi, is that fine? And I'm like, no, it is not. Water and lemon, please.
See, not me. I
hate
will
it.
drink the Diet Coke, but when I buy it, buy Diet Pepsi.
Yeah,
at my
I
house.
prefer Pepsi.
I am
Me
all
too.
Coke.
And I actually at the Texas Fair did the Pepsi challenge and chose Pepsi.
Yeah, no, I can pick a Diet Coke between Diet Pepsi. Like, there's-
Anyone who says they can't tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi, whether
I
it's diet or regular, is a bullshit
See,
liar.
I think that Coke to me has like an underlying taste of prune juice.
It tastes metallic to me.
Isn't that weird?
it just tastes like delicious awesomeness to me.
Delicious awesomeness.
Well, and I have a sensitivity to aspartame. I can't really do diet sodas anyway because I've had anaphylaxis from drinking too much.
Really?
Well, I got one of my cravings when I was pregnant was Diet Coke with lime, and I would drink like a case of that a day, and
oh
then
my God.
it was no good for me. I ended up
No.
going. They were like, "You're having a panic attack." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. I'm not panicking about it." It's aspartame.
I used to love Diet Coke with lime. I had a real thing for that years ago, but now I can't. I'm like I was or am a Diet Coke purist. Like, don't add the. I love all the little flavor options when you go to like Five Guys or something and in their little machines, but just give me the straight Diet Coke and give it to me in my veins. I don't even have to guzzle it. If you can tap that shit in there.
See,
She's
I
gonna be
feel
like a
that way about
heroin
my coffee in
junkie.
the morning. Like I want my coffee.
See, I can't
in
stand
the
coffee.
mor-
Otherwise,
and
I
I'm
do
not.
that.
I was like, I'm not like a coffee drinker from a long time. I didn't start really drinking coffee till I was like 40. But I love my coffee in the morning now. Like,
I can't do caffeine anymore. Not
yeah, you
heavily.
used to be a big coffee drinker with me in the mornings.
Well, for a long time I stopped caffeine because I was told by a couple of doctors I shouldn't intake it because I don't process it correctly. And then, after a while, I started working this overnight gig where I was working, 10 hours a day from 8 o'clock in the evening to like 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever the fuck it was. I don't even remember. It was a slave driving. And that was the only way to get myself, and I had 2 days off in the week and they were split days.
Oh, no fun.
So it's like
No
not
time to
having any
recover,
days
yeah.
off, right? So in order to do anything, I had to have a way to keep myself awake. And that ended up becoming caffeine coffee again. And it messed my system up real bad, and I've laid off of
I'm
it.
so bad because I'll get up in the morning and you're right. It's usually around 9:30 or 10 these days because I'm like my job requires me to be up late. But like I'll drink my coffee, and when I drink a cup of coffee, it's not a cup. It's like you've seen my mugs.
It's a big
It's
ass.
like
Half gallon.
well, yeah, I make a half a pot of coffee and I drink it in the morning, okay? But I can go like I don't even eat usually until 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Which is probably not really good for me, but I don't like to eat when I get up, and when I have my coffee, I'm good for several hours.
Oh, see, I like to. I wish I could drink coffee every single day. I love coffee, like I love the flavor of it.
Right?
But I just can't. And because I don't drink a lot of coffee, the big 12-cup coffee maker isn't even out anymore.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
put away behind shit in a cupboard somewhere. The little 2-cup coffee maker that we have is up on top of the fridge with an inch of dust on it.
I'm surprised that your sister doesn't, and they don't drink coffee.
Well, she can't right
Well,
now.
not now because she's pregnant.
Right. But but before, no, she didn't. She's a Starbucks person. She goes and buys her coffee.
I found at
Like-
Starbucks they have a again, I still enjoy my caffeine. Like that'll that'll be very hard to get away from. But they have a refreshers drink.
Is it
And
the lime or the?
They have lime. They have multiple flavors, and it has caffeine in it. That's from green coffee beans,
Mhm.
and so it
I
definitely
like
gives
Starbucks.
you. It gives you a
I
nice
love the
little
refreshers.
jolt. Yeah, it's got a lot of sugar. So the first time I got it, I got a small one, and that's fine. But then the next time I got, the biggest size possible, and
The
I'm like,
Trenta.
can you make it any bigger? And partway through, I started, shaking from the sugar. So
Yeah,
Wow.
I love
No,
them.
see, and I like coffee. I mean, I'll drink coffee from Starbucks, but I would much rather have $1 coffee from McDonald's than a $4 coffee from Starbucks. To me, the beans taste burnt to me. They're very strong.
Best coffee is 7-Eleven. If you go to a 7-Eleven where they're making their coffee fresh every hour, it's the
Good.
best coffee.
the 7-Eleven donuts are really good.
Yeah, they're pretty damn good.
All right,
They are.
Toxie, you got to catch up for us this
I
week?
have, yeah.
She's
Well,
in the middle of
of course,
it.
I have,
Oh, okay. Didn't know we were there.
my Diet Coke change.
Craziness.
So we'll
So how long have you
see.
been completely without a Diet Coke?
Without 5 days.
5 days.
Wow,
Five full
good
days.
And
for
how are you
you.
doing
And
now?
I'm okay now.
But
I mean,
yeah, when you drink, what are you going to mix with?
well, I drink Red Bull and Jaeger.
Oh, that's right. Okay, okay.
So again, I really love my caffeine. Like I went out on Friday and I was downtown and I didn't want too much to drink because I drove, so I had a single drink and then I had a Red Bull and Jaeger and then I drank, as we walked around, I drank lots of water. And I'm like, I really want something else.
Right.
And so I ended up going in one bar and just ordering a Red Bull.
Okay.
So I didn't want to get the Diet Coke, but I kind of miss it with dinner. Just
Oh, really? See,
Yeah,
I'm
or
a
I would
water- I'm such a
unwind.
water girl.
Mhm.
and I would drink it late at night. I mean, I can be up at midnight
And it
drinking a
doesn't
Diet
affect
Coke.
your sleeping?
No, no,
Wow.
not at all.
See, I drink so much water. I drink iced tea if I go out to dinner. I drink water all the time at home, other than my coffee in the morning. The only time I want a Diet Coke is if I'm having potato chips or pizza.
Yeah.
Then I like my Diet Pepsi. So, nothing exciting. So, what else happened in your week? Hot sex? He's
I
got Mr.
went-
Toxie says you're not dickless.
Yeah, no, we did. We're good.
We're
And,
good.
I went to the movies. I went to see that one, The Fault in Our Stars.
Mhm.
And one thing I will tell you about me, I fucking hate movies where I cry.
Mhm.
I hate it. Hate.
But was
hate,
the
hate.
message good?
Why
The
don't you?
message
Why
was-
don't you
it
like
was
to
an
cry at
excellent
movies?
movie. Because there's so many real things in this world that I could cry over. There's,
But she doesn't because she has a
children,
cold dead heart.
right?
Right,
There's,
right.
no, I do. No, my dead heart is just involved with romance. I'm still very
But
sensitive
don't you think it's
and
good for
everything
these
else.
movies to draw attention to some of these things?
Sure. Well, I already know what cancer does, so I don't need them to draw attention to jack shit.
But you knew what the movie was about when you went into it, right?
I
You
knew
just didn't wanna
I
cry.
didn't. I did not want to go to the movie. I went to the movie because I was not the one who wanted to see it, but I knew I needed to go. So I went to the movie. And
What's the name of it again?
The Fault in
The
Our
Fault in Our
Stars.
Stars.
Oh,
It
okay.
was a beautiful movie, but I'm not a pretty crier. I'm not a dainty little.
Me neither.
I'm not one of those girls who's like dab dab.
You're like,
Snot is dripping down.
You donkey.
And like tears are pouring in the popcorn. I'm in there. And finally, I kept trying to wipe my nose without blowing it because it's quiet. Like there's things going on up there on the screen, And finally, I had to do a big honkin' nose blow. Like, again, not dainty or pretty. It was like,
Oh, God.
And
Somebody's
so-
like, who brought the fucking angry donkey?
Right. And nobody else. I couldn't even hear anyone else sniffing. But I was like in full, like I could have just put a cup under my face and caught everything that was falling out from my nose and my eyes. It was.
See, she
there's
doesn't want
no
to cry because
prettiness.
she's embarrassed about crying. Not that she did this way. I hate crying in movies because she's embarrassed.
But I don't want to. Why do I want to cry? Why do I want to pay to cry about something?
Right. When you're supposed
When
to
I
be
can do it for
entertained.
free.
Right. When you're supposed
Yeah,
to be
I can be entertained. I can do it for free. I
Did you
could,
see
like,
Powder?
Go on the news.
Did you watch the movie Powder?
No, that's the one about the white guy. That'll
Make you weep, too. Don't
It
say
won't
it.
happen.
K-Pax?
No. I
K-Pax
purposely
is
avoid
good.
these.
I
purposely
cried
I
avoid
so
all
just
of
hard.
watched that a few weeks ago on HBO.
I cried.
Yeah.
I purposely avoid all of this. I avoid all
How
of
do you make it through a Disney flick?
I don't. Disney's are bad. And then
Disney is bad.
I'm also,
Who goes to the Disney movies with your girl?
Let me just tell, I do. I still go. She's not deprived. I go. This was one, that's who I went with. I took my daughter. She had the book. She wanted to see it. I was a little iffy because we don't, I'm pretty set on age appropriate. And this was one that we knew going in. There was one scene that she had to turn for. So we were prepped and she knew. And like emotionally,
You're
like
such a good mom.
she had a tear or two. That I was worried about the emotional aspect. And I said, at any point, if we need to walk out, we will walk out. You just lean over and say, I can't do this anymore. And so she's like, she kind of leans over at one point and she's like, yeah, there's nothing. And then she had a few tears and I handed her a tissue, but she literally used one tissue. And she was like very mature about it. And
Meanwhile,
she had some tears. And meanwhile, I used every other fucking tissue and had to get the napkins, the hard, crunchy napkins that we had from the popcorn. And I'm, wiping my shit up with that. And then I'm like, we might need to go get more napkins. And she was just embarrassed at that point. She was just like, I can't believe this is an adult and I'm not insane. But the two most embarrassing movies I've ever cried at, ever, and I will share this with you because I love you all. The Hannah Montana movie.
Oh no!
When she saves the town.
it's Disney, by the way. It's designed to make you cry.
And the One Direction movie.
Oh my God!
Because
She's killing me. She's a 13-year-old teenager.
Because the boys' parents were on there, and the one mother was like looking at this thing and talking about her son, and I miss him, but I know it's it's for the best, and this and that, and here's what it means to her to have a son who was successful in doing what he's always been passionate about, and then I was gone. So
Yeah, anytime a parent gets on and starts talking about how proud they are of their kid or whatever, I'm like,
Right.
okay, go.
That's it. Like I got it. Oh, even Justin Bieber, the Justin Bieber Believe, when the family's on, like,
Oh
we're
my
so
God, you
proud.
guys
He
are
works
too
so
much.
he works so hard to get where he is, and I'm like, yes,
Puff,
he
puff,
did.
pass.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
exactly.
Well, this was
So
years ago. This was back when he was still.
I don't know
Yeah.
what it is about the sadists on my Facebook page who like to post things to me about soldiers coming home or
They kill me.
inspirational dog stories.
Or wait, no, even worse, the dog with the dead soldier.
Right.
What the fuck?
Or
Take that off there.
have you seen the cat's reaction to their parent coming to their parent coming home from
Because
cat
I
is
watched
just
them
like,
all. Everyone, or like the dog,
Yeah.
their owner came home after a
the
tour of
3-year-old girl who
duty.
opens a birthday present and it's her dad.
Yes. Oh, that one I saw, the big
Oh.
box in the living room. And now, of course, is the time of year, and I watch them all. I watch them knowing as soon as I click this,
I
I'm
have
going
a
to
box
be a
of
big ball
tissues
of
on my desk.
blubber. But the one with all the graduation ones, like their dad came home and surprised them. Or
Yeah.
there was one where this soldier promised his sister he would be there for her graduation, but he died 2 years ago.
Oh.
So
Oh.
everybody from his platoon came to her
Now that
graduation.
I would have cried. I would have.
And
Look
they
at me, I got goosebumps.
I do too now. And they let one of them present her with her diploma.
Oh, that's okay.
It's awful. I wish people would not
It's
post this shit.
I know, and they post it right like when they know I'm going to be on Facebook. Like, I'm on a break at work, and I'm checking out my Facebook, and then suddenly my boss walks in, and she's like, why are you crying? It's me, and I'm going to share it on your Facebook page, and you cried too. And she
And I'll
does.
click on every one. There's one, it was a, and I did post this on mine only because it was, you read so much shitty stuff. Every time I click on the news, it's shitty and depressing. But there was one where this homeless man had one, it was like a little lotto thing, and he shared it with somebody else. And that guy just so happened to want to pay it forward. And bottom line, helped raise money to buy this man a home. And so he walks in and he says, hey, bud, I want you to come over and hang out at my house. And they get in the house and he's like, no, actually, it's your home. And the rent is paid for a year.
Oh,
and all
yeah.
of this furniture is yours. And there you go. And the guy's like, Yeah.
That's insane. There's a story floating around. I'll have to post it on your Facebook page about a dog named George. And this lady adopts this dog named George, and she's having real problems with him. Or Reggie. Reggie was his name. She's having real problems connecting with this dog, and then she remembers that she got a letter with the dog when she adopted him. Turns out the letter's from her previous owner. I don't want to spoil it for you, but he's a military man.
Dog, yeah.
Military dog. I'm gonna post it on your page, man. I'm telling you that right now.
Crying.
But you get
the military ones are the worst. Like,
Yeah.
and then if you combine military and a pet for me.
I think
Yeah.
that I've just figured out that the reason Toxie is cold and unromantic is because if she really let herself fall into the romantic mode, she'd just cry, and she doesn't want to cry.
I don't like to cry.
See?
Again, I'm not a pretty crier.
Does Mr.
I'm a
Toxie make you
fucking
cry in a
mess.
good way sometimes? Like if he does something really special, or do you
No.
get kind of emotional? Or you just go, fuck, that's his job.
No, I don't take it for granted
That's
when he
good.
does
That's
nice
good.
things.
That's
You
good.
know, I don't.
like making her
Like,
green tea
fucking
perfect.
I know, that is so nice.
You have
That
no
is
idea how much I
very
appreciate
nice.
that
I
because
do.
he makes sure it stays full.
How nice.
And then, he'll like pour some, or if I'm in working, he's like, I filled your
You know,
green
you have a
tea."
good man.
He's a good man.
He's a good
he
man.
is.
That's why I want to be the sister wife. I keep
Kelly guy
trying.
wants to know how many cans a day.
Oh, I said in there, I want to
Oh,
say
okay.
like 4 to 6, but I wasn't limited to just cans.
You were
I
getting the
would-
big gulps.
I would swing in after I drop my daughter at school, get a Route 44. Now, when I get these big ones, I wouldn't drink it all. I fill them with ice. And then I get the drink, and when it's watered down, I stop drinking it. But I would have at least one more big gulp during the day.
That's a
And
lot of
if we go to a restaurant, I always ask them for some to go.
You know what? That's a lot of sodium.
It's a lot.
There's a lot of sodium in soda.
That's why
And
they call it
so,
soda.
have you noticed any difference in maybe like if you're like the water retention since you stopped drinking it,
Are you peeing less?
No.
or
I'm
like
peeing
your
more. I'm
feet
peeing
or
more.
something, or your fingers?
I'm peeing more, but I'm a pretty good peer. So
That's good. That's good. That's good.
But I'm peeing a lot more.
Okay.
So.
Anything
That's
else
good.
this week that we need to know about?
Yeah, we have.
We got plenty of
We
time.
have plenty of time.
So we're at Red Label last night. Last night was Red Label.
Oh yeah.
You bitches didn't go.
I was working. Hello. I
I had my kid.
All right. We'll let it go. We'll let it go.
I have to work.
So yeah, I was drunk texting, of course. I have to learn that Mr. Toxie gets my phone when I go out. Period. Because this morning I'm like,
She was sending
holy
apology
fuck!
text this morning.
I was sending apology texts to people.
I got an apology text this
Yeah.
morning.
I
I'm
did
like-
not, and I'm okay with that.
But I wasn't like really
You
mean
weren't-
in
yeah,
yours.
it must be like,
I
where
just
the
sent you a
fuck are
picture.
you? She
Yeah,
said
I'm
me,
like,
where
where the fuck are you? And
Wow.
just wake the fuck
Then she
up.
said, "I'm
and-
sorry, I was really drunk." I'm like, "Yeah, no worries. I don't." When you get a text from Toxie in the middle of the night, you don't even care what it says. 'Cause
You
know
should
she's
not
drunk.
need to apologize.
No need.
If
We
these
love
people
you.
are in your phone book, as long as you're not texting associates, as long as it's just friends,
Right.
they should understand that you are drunk.
Because we know
and
you and love you
boisterous.
for who you are, Toxie.
Right. Just
See?
love me for all of my craziness.
We do.
All of it.
That's why I want to hang out with you.
You're a-
It's always fun. It's always fun. I can't wait to the bash. We're gonna hang out and have a great time.
You're a boisterous drunk.
I am a boisterous
Now, are you coming
drunk.
down to the event during the week?
Maybe. We'll see. I have to work. I can't take the time off.
Right. I know
So-
that, but like in the evening or something, or a pool party.
Maybe. It will depend. I've talked to baby daddy about taking that week off, but if he doesn't, then
If you
I
need help in the evening.
really
My
can't.
daughter is not working, so
we'll see.
just so you know, it's out there.
All right.
Because
I
we'd love to
got-
party with you in your bikini.
Yeah, it's a matter of juggling my
logistics
time.
for time. I gotcha. I
Yeah.
understand.
I had a gentleman last night I got in a little verbal disagreement
Ooh,
with.
What about? Tell us.
I was there with my friend, and we're having fun. Everything's great, and we go up to order a drink, and she's in front of me, and I'm right here, and he edges right in, like right up
Between you.
there. Yeah, and he's like, he's hitting on her basically, and she's not even acknowledging. She's at this point, she's like, getting the drinks, and so I'm like, excuse me, and he still stays there, still trying. So I took my body and physically pushed it in between the two of them.
Okay.
And I'm like this.
Give
him
So
the hair
he's
whip?
behind me.
He
Yes.
got the hair whip.
And so he starts going off. What the fuck do you're gonna do that and be all rude like that and everything? And I'm like, she's married. And so he's still going, and I'm like, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking.
Foxy getting
And so
brave.
he's getting behind me, and now I'm like, just keep going, keep going. And I'm getting really mad. And at one point, I'm like, I said something along the lines of, and again, I'm nobody, so I get that. And I'm like, do you even know who I am?
I'm Toxie with SinCityBounty.
Well, but I meant it more along the lines of like, most people don't fuck with me because, not because of anything to do with the show or anything.
Because that's my husband.
Because they've seen Mr.
Mr.
Toxie.
Toxie.
Nobody
Right,
fucks
you're
with
right,
me. It never
absolutely.
happens. They don't, you know, it's all good. And so I meant it more along the lines of like, if this man walks out and hears you, it's not going to be pretty. So yeah, so finally he kind of backed off and went away, but I was there like my hair was whipping.
And she was drunk.
I was
and
like,
gonna save
I
a
wasn't.
sister.
I actually
save a
wasn't.
sister.
I wasn't even drunk at that point. I really wasn't. I was just angry.
So
Like,
tell me.
don't piss me
Now,
off.
I know the red label don't last till 5 a.m. Why are you getting home at 5 a.m.?
Oh, I was home after 5 a.m. We went somewhere after, and
They have become such party animals.
Yeah, you
haven't
guys
they?
are pretty
Right.
party animal-y.
Like, I want to check
What?
your ID because I'm thinking you're around 22,
right?
23.
What? I am.
It
It was a little pool party.
Oh, cool.
So, and let me tell you how much of a partier I am. I was in the pool for,
Fell
maybe
asleep?
15 minutes, and I got out and sat on the outdoor couch, and the next time I woke up, it was daylight and everyone's leaving. So that's how much of a partier I am.
Do you snore?
I am the messiest sleeper. Like, I am a
Drooling
nasty
and
crier.
snore?
I am a drool and snore. Yeah, I'm like a, drool coming everywhere.
Puddle in your ear when you wake up in
Puddle
the morning?
my-
I hate
yeah,
that.
like throw away my pillows every now and again just because. Yeah.
You're a drooler.
I'm
know you can
pretty.
bleach
I'm
'em.
smiling an ass, but everything other than that is pretty nasty.
Bug Guy has heard me
Not
sleep,
nasty,
and he
but,
swears that I need to go get a sleep apnea mask. Because
Probably.
he wears one and he looks like Stuffaluffagus, and I don't want to look like
Yeah,
Snuffy.
Mr. Toxie needs one.
You're sleeping by yourself. What do you care?
I know, but it's still, I know what Stuffaluffagus looks like, and I don't like it.
Ah, if it's for your health.
Well, I know. I don't, I looked at all the symptoms of it as far as like you're fatigued during the day. And
Right.
stuff. I don't have any of the symptoms, but he had heard, he can hear me sleep. I must be snoring loud. You can hear me in my room. But, so I don't know. Maybe I'll ask my doctor when I go next time. I don't know.
It's always an idea. Yeah.
So we'll see.
So, Toxie, is that all for you? You dirty, rotten, crying, slobbery, snoring
It's-
beast, you?
There's
Non-romantic
nothing
beast.
pretty. There's
Right.
nothing pretty. I'm
You're
telling
You
cold.
think
you.
you're pretty. You got a pretty smile and a
I
pretty
have
ass.
a pretty smile and a pretty ass, but
You don't get your eyeliner in your eyebrows.
it's true.
I do
See?
that.
See? That's another plus. You're a great mom.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few things.
You know what?
done for me.
I want to
I'm
tell
alright.
you seriously. Like I sit
Mhm.
back and see, and I raised a daughter who had some trouble in her life, and I look at both of you as mothers, and you make the tough choices for your kid as far as, a lot of mothers aren't like watching everything she watches on TV, and I admire that. And
Yeah.
you like your little guy. You see he was having a little bit of trouble with school, and like you're there and right on it. And I just
I'm my
just wanna
kid's first and
tell
last
you both.
advocate.
Yeah, well, and I just
That's
you
it.
guys, I think I just want to tell you, I think you're both great parents. So
Thank you.
I do.
Yeah, doing some great parenting.
Yeah, you are both of you. So that's the way it goes. So tell us about your week, Sierra. When's
Um,
the Cali guy coming?
We don't know yet. That's part of my parenting skills. We still haven't
Wait,
gotten.
you have to parent Cali guy now?
No.
I didn't think so.
So the deal was that if my boy got straight A's at the end of the year, that we would Cali guy would take him to Legoland this
Fun.
summer.
Okay.
Except we still haven't gotten his report card.
You're kidding me. That's
And
a long
there-
time school's been out.
Yeah, and the school's closed this week for the
Holiday.
holiday.
It's
Yeah,
been over a month.
yeah. So I'll call them after the 4th of July when they'll be open again and say, look, I never got the report card. Can you fax it, email it, mail it back to me, please?
Did you try getting on like the school website?
Well, he's a charter school.
So
They don't.
like
Yeah,
the-
the
like the
Parent Connect thing is not part of their system.
Gotcha.
So, and I'm not real worried about it. Like, I know Cali Guy's good for it. Like, my boy knows Cali Guy's good for it. If we end up doing this, like,
in the fall or something.
well, it'd have to be one of these long weekends because I'm taking 2 weeks off to go to Pittsburgh. So
Right.
it's gonna be all my vacation time is used up. There's no time left. I can't get sick.
The kid can't get sick.
The kid can't get sick. Like everything's got to be perfect. And I've been taking lots of time off because I'm doing physical therapy for this knee I've got. And I'm seeing it on my paycheck. Like my last paycheck was teeny tiny. And it's like, oh, this is awful.
It's amazing, like just a couple hours make a big difference.
Well,
yeah.
The thing is, it's not just like a couple hours every week. It's like almost a couple of hours every day.
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
And yeah, so it's bad, but whatever. So we had new neighbors moved in, two doors down. And we watched them move in. They moved in. They had this giant playground thing that they moved into the backyard. My son's like, they have kids. I said, they do have kids.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there are a lot of kids in our neighborhood.
They don't come out,
never
though.
see them.
I've never seen them out, even at the pool.
But sometimes in the summer, you'll see them in the pool once in a while.
Yeah.
But the kids mostly don't come out and play. It's
115 degrees.
That's very true. But we ran into each other out on the little street in front of our houses and chit-chatted a little and talked about, the kids coming over to play. And I said, yeah, anytime. And they said, okay. So a couple of days ago, my doorbell rings. My doorbell never rings. And so, like, I'm on edge. I'm like, who is it? So I go and peek up at the peephole because I'm like, if it's the cops, we're not answering. So I'm going to tell you, cops show up on my doorstep for the dumbest fucking reasons.
Oh, God.
But anyway, so it's my neighbors with their two kids. And I'm like, hey, it's the new neighbors. So I open the door. Crazy wiener dog runs out, chases the little girl out of the front yard because she's like, dog! And I'm like, I promise you, the worst he's going to do is, like, pee on you because he's so excited. That's it. And they invited him over to play. And they said, what time? Their parents came over and we, formally introduced.
Much at your house.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
So they're like, can he come play? And I'm like, yeah, please. Take him.
He was probably so happy.
Oh, he was thrilled. I actually have to tell him no because he's like, I want to go over there every day. And I'm like, you can't go over there every day.
Crazy,
You'll drive. Trust me, you drive me nuts, and they don't love you. So, so he went over there. Like, what time do you want him home? I said, 8:30's good. So they walked him home. I'm like, really, you guys don't need to walk him home.
But awesome.
Yeah,
because I know, like, that was a big thing in your neighborhood. Because he didn't have, when he wasn't like at my house or
he didn't really have anyone to
play with. Yeah.
But he has been over there almost every day. I've had to tell him no. He went over like at 8 o'clock this morning. He's waking me up. He's like, can I go to the neighbor's house? I'm like,
oh my God.
No, they're probably at church.
He's that kid.
Yeah.
My mom is like we eat Sunday morning breakfast. Like he's that kid.
Yeah. I'm like, no, you've got to wait. So he's literally like every half hour. Can I go now? No.
Oh,
Can I go now? No. So at 10 o'clock, I'm like, okay, I figure if they're church-going people and they're Latino with accents, so they probably are,
right.
Then they're probably home by now and out of their church clothes at 10 a.m. So I'm like, okay, you can go now. I swear to you, I've never seen him move faster.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was out that door and down 2 doors, and he was gone for like an hour and a half. It was great. I was like, oh, playing video games without him bugging me. Can I play with you? No.
Yeah.
Like, it was fabulous. And then he came home, and I'm like, oh, I love you, but dude, this is great that there's people who are willing to accept you into their home. And now he's like, can they come over here? Oh, crap, that is the next step, isn't it?
Yeah, you do have to. Or send him, you know what, or when he goes, like, send him with little snacks, so that way at least they feel you're doing something if you don't want to have him at your house. Or
yeah,
something.
no, I figure I'll, send him over and with a note.
Well,
hey, can the girls come over?
I got to tell you a funny story that reminds me of a story this week. I took, my daughter and I took my grandson and my friend's little boy and then her boyfriend's son to one of the Henderson pools. So I'll tell you what was great. They get done at the pool. I dropped them at her house and I said, do you know what the greatest thing about this? Because normally all the children would come back to Chacha's house.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? I'm sending them to your house where they all should be because you're entertaining your son's friends. And I dropped them off and I was done for the day. And it's like it's supposed to be not coming home with me. It was great.
Right.
So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snuck in on your catch up.
That's all right. So it's great.
That's good.
Like, and they're really, really nice people. Like, they're like, yeah, send him over anytime. I'm like, yeah.
That's really good. No, you know what you do? You invite them to go when you go to the pool because that's a nice,
we were going to do that until it got to be 105 at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So I was like, no, today's an inside day.
Yeah.
We've got some shopping we need to do. And then after that, we're done. Like, we're going home. And he's like, can I go to the neighbors? I'm like, trust me. The neighbors are not playing outside today either. And he's like, but they have an Xbox. I'm like, oh,
Oh, there you go.
I see what it is.
They can play inside over there.
So he goes over there. My kid's great. He loves having other kids to play with. He's been over there 4 times now, and I'm like, do you remember their names yet? No. But they have an Xbox, and I know all the video games they have for it. And I'm like, that's not the important part, kid. I'm like, seriously, you need to learn their names. I bet you they know your name. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you need to learn their names, please. He's hilarious.
He knows the
He's such a nerd.
important stuff.
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah,
The video
Xbox and the
games.
games.
Yeah.
That's the
And then he's
important
like, can we get an Xbox? I said, no, we are Wii and Sony PlayStation people here. We will never have an Xbox.
We have an Xbox.
Do you play it ever?
No, even
Does
my
Mr.
child
Toxie?
doesn't play that often. We have a Wii somewhere. It's like packed away that we don't even.
Sell
We
that
play
shit.
the
I
Wii all the
should.
time. We love it.
Yeah, we
What games
don't.
do you have for it? Do you know?
I don't have nothing
All
but a
kinds.
hockey
I have
game
no
standing
idea.
in my living room now.
Most of our games now are like sports games versus the ones where people play.
my son
It's
and I
just
are
some
playing
dance
Lego Harry
stuff.
Potter right now, just so that you know what kind of games we play in our house.
Harry Potter, you're
Nice.
playing?
Yeah, we're
That's
playing
funny.
Lego Harry Potter. I do have the Wii Fit board and the Wii
We have
Fit
that.
disc, but it has more dust on it than anything else in my house, so I've never even plugged it in.
That's funny.
It's crazy. That's been it. So we're waiting on the report card because that will determine on whether he comes here or we go there for a long weekend.
Oh, I gotcha. So they'll do the Lego. Is Legoland
Right.
near Disneyland or where's it?
No,
at?
it's
it's out
down.
west.
It's further south.
south.
Yeah, Legoland is
San
San
Diego.
Diego. Northern
Oh,
San Diego.
Okay,
area.
all right. I wasn't sure exactly.
Kind of like
where
that
it was
no man land between San
at.
Diego
See, I'm
and LA.
trying to put together a Disneyland trip. One of my grandchild's birthdays is October 13th, and the other's October 31st. So between the birthdays, I'd like to take them and their mamas.
Disneyland has upped their prices.
I know.
They are very,
Well, I
very
remember,
expensive.
now this of course was a year ago when Bug Guy and I were married and we had 3 kids taken there, but I remember we got a package at the Sheraton, which the Sheraton was very nice, and where you walked right outside, got on the shuttle, took you right to Disneyland and back every day, and the hotel was, and it included all the Disney tickets and everything. It was like one solid price. Now I haven't started looking for those packages yet,
Well,
but
I'll tell you
my
when
plan.
we took my son 3 years ago. This was before they upped their rates, and this is with the Southern California resident discount
Oh, okay.
because baby
Cali guy,
daddy's
right? Oh,
no baby daddy's
parents,
parents
right.
live there. So it was still over $600
And that
for
includes
2-day
Crazy.
2-day passes for
2-day
how many
passes.
people?
3.
So that's $200 a piece. Okay. Now what would the baby under 2 be?
Nobody gets in free anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, I need to figure it out, and I got to
Yeah.
pay for
They-
hotel.
It's insane. Like, it's super crazy. I'm like, Disneyland's great. That's like the one time you do, maybe
You know what?
twice in a
I
year.
can only imagine what the cost. Now, I grew up in Michigan, so we always were Disney World people because everybody from Michigan drives to Florida, and my grandparents lived down there. Now, Disneyland in California is literally, you guys, a backyard carnival
Mhm,
compared to Disney World. I mean, you cannot compare the two parks. So if you're paying $200 or $100 a day here, I can only imagine what the Florida ticket is.
Yeah.
It's got to
that's
be insane.
ridiculous.
Yeah, because you could get a 3-day there, and you can go from Disney Adventure to Epcot to Disneyland.
Yeah, and
Disney
I want to
World,
go to
rather.
Disney World simply for Epcot. Like, Epcot is
Epcot-
what I want to
Oh,
do
girl,
at
I
Disney
like Epcot
World.
better than the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Epcot is the fucking coolest.
That's all I've ever heard about it.
Yes.
My uncle used to live there, but now he lives in a shack he built on a beach in
Yeah,
freaking Hawaii.
Epcot is the whip. I'm
But,
telling you.
Yeah, I'd love to go. We're going to Hershey when we go to
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
That's fun.
I told you
Now
that
we're
last
talking,
week.
yes.
Yeah.
Now we're
Chocolate.
talking.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
hell
you know
yeah.
you need to bring us some chocolate back to the show.
I
Wait,
will.
I thought you were going to Pittsburgh.
We are going to Pittsburgh, but we are going to make we're going to borrow my
Yeah, 'cause
dad's
they're
truck.
nowhere near.
No. It's
How
like
far of a drive?
it's like a 3-hour drive,
that's not
4
bad.
hours, is it?
It's a little more, yeah, because you're going completely across the other side of the state.
Well, we're going. We are going.
That's it.
I don't care what we got to do, but we're fucking going to Hershey.
Can you bottle the smell of the city for us?
Oh, I wish. I wish. So speaking of chocolate, so my mom is epically awesome. Said with sarcasm and an eye roll. They were on a vacation. They went camping this
Okay.
recently, and they were coming back through some town, and they had some candy store there. And my mom sent me a text, and she said, "What kind of candy do you like?" I said, "I like Jelly Bellies." First off, you're my mother. You shouldn't have to ask me what kind of candy I like. You should know. Like, I know that my son likes gummy Lifesavers and Nerds. Those are his favorites.
Okay.
And Twizzlers. So I tell her Jelly Bellies, and she goes, "Nothing chocolate?" And I said, "A Symphony bar, because I'm not really like a milk chocolate person. I like dark chocolate, or I like Symphony bars with all the toffee and stuff in them."
Right.
And so she goes, "Okay." So she sends me a text, "Ooh, I left a present on your pillow on your bed." And I'm like, "Oh, fabulous. I'm going to have a bag of Jelly Bellies, maybe a big-ass Symphony bar or two." No, it's a tiny little box of some unknown chocolate company, and they slap the Jim Beam label on it, so it's like some shitty
it
chocolate
Russell
with Jim
Stover?
Beam in it.
Russell
No.
Stover?
No, it's not even Russell Stover.
Oh, you're so disappointed.
I'm like, ugh. And she's like, "Oh, but I left toys for the boy on his bed." And they're like, shit you get out of the 25-cent machine where you turn the knob. I'm like,
oh my God.
one of them was an inflatable guitar, and it was not unfolded or inflated on the bed. It was still in the original, we got this out of a cheap grab bag plastic bag that it comes in. And my son's like turning it over. He goes, "I don't even know what this is." I said, "It's an inflatable guitar." He goes, he goes, "What am I going to do with this?"
Oh, that's funny. That
I was
is
like,
so
"Oh
funny.
shit, I am so rubbing off on you." So they've all gone into the bucket of despair, which
The
is
bucket of despair.
well, it's this little plastic bucket that he puts things in that he just needs out of the way. Everything that goes into his room needs to be put away. So things that he doesn't have a home for because he's never going to play with them go into what I call the bucket of despair. And at the end of the year, when we clean his room out, that whole bucket just gets dumped into the.
That whole bucket needs to go to the land of misfit toys.
Yeah. It ends up at Savers. That's where it
Right.
goes.
It says here online that it does say it's about 3.5 hours away.
Yeah.
I
So-
fail to believe that.
So yeah, we're excited to go. It's a long trip, but it would be great for, if we leave early in the morning, we do a nice good day trip, come back in the evening.
Yeah, it's
that's
beautiful.
like
You're
going
gonna
from
drive
here
through. It's going to be
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah, I
You'll
remember
probably
the
hit up
drive.
some Amish.
Oh
gonna-
yeah, and he'll be the all the colors on
yeah,
the trees.
Yeah, we're
It's
being
my
there
favorite
in
time of
November.
year.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Yeah.
I
It is.
hate you.
It's the best
Going,
time
and
of
we're
the
gonna
year,
go to the
Becky.
zoo and the Museum of Science.
Whatever, I
and,
just hate
yeah.
you.
How awesome! What
I'm
a
Yeah,
gonna
we're
go.
so
Here's what I'm gonna
excited.
do. Tell me all where you're going. I'm gonna go and show up.
Ah,
then you're gonna
she
be
wants
in the
your
museum.
agenda so she can
And I'm
pop
going
going
in.
to just show
itinerary.
up like, hey,
Look, if you
when
wanna
do we
come-
leave for Hershey?
You want to come? You can sleep on an air mattress in my dad's house with me,
I could go to my dad's, the other side of PA.
That's tempting.
Philly. Then I'll come stay with
Then
you
we
and
can-
get Phillies in Philly.
Exactly. Then we can meet.
Go
you
to
know.
Hershey.
We can
Yeah.
go to Hershey. It'll be perfect.
It'll be great.
That's all plans.
You know, if we were all rich, we could all just do this stuff.
You can work on my dad's
Right.
farm. It'll be great.
I would totally do that, by
For
the
the
way.
fall, they're wrapping up, but they still have, their autumn
Yeah.
stuff, and you could get gourds and pumpkins and all that.
So I got totally ensnared in my sister's relationship drama.
Oh boy, pregnant sister story.
It's
We
less,
need, we need to call this. We need to have a name for this segment.
well, it's less about her pregnant, and it's more about the fact that she's just seriously crazy and insecure.
It's called
So
the sister saga.
I told you about she thought her boyfriend was cheating on her, so
No,
she
tell
shredded
us
all
this-
of her clothes, all
Oh
of his
no,
clothes.
no! Tell us this story.
So it
Oh,
starts
hey.
before the camping trip a week ago. They all went on it. They've had this camping trip planned for months, and about 3 days before the camping trip, my sister calls me sobbing. And I'd just come home. I'd come home late for some reason, and what? Who's saying what? Oh yes, I'm gonna tell them the math problem. You know what? Yeah. So I'll get to the math problem in just a second, babe. I promise. Let me finish this one. So, long story short, my sister's crazy. She thought her boyfriend was cheating on her, so she shredded all of his clothes, called me up in the middle of the night and said, "I need you to wake up, go downstairs, and lock all the doors and windows because I'm afraid he'll come home, see that I've shredded all of his clothes, and hurt my cat."
Oh my God.
So I do this. And
She's
then,
not home.
and now I
She's
can't
working.
sleep. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Now I can't sleep. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, she gives me a text and says, "I'm on my way home. Can you unlock the door?" I said, "Why don't you call me when you get here and I'll unlock it then?" And she says, "Okay, I'm here." So I go out there to, console my sister because her boyfriend's cheated on her. She's just broken up with him. That's what I'm thinking in my head.
And she's pregnant, and it's all kind of drama.
Right. No, she's coming home with him in his car. Wherever she went, her car is now left there. So, okay, fine. They go on their camping trip 2 days later, whatever. They come back, everything's
Is she
hunky-dory.
naked on this camping trip? 'Cause she
I have
shredded
no
his
idea.
clothes?
No, she went out and bought him new clothes. So, the daughter who has no money, borrows gas from me regularly, went out and bought her boyfriend brand new clothes. So, a couple of days ago, I don't even know what started it, but I get a call from my mom. She's like, is the boyfriend at your house? And I'm like, at the house? I'm like, no. She's like, well, I think he just left Sam. And I'm like, what? Well, she said, I think he just left your sister. So I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, well, he was borrowing my truck, and he left it at someone else's house, left them the keys, and walked away. And he doesn't have his phone with him, and we don't know where he's at or what he's doing, and he's not, there's no way to contact him. Again, it's like 9 o'clock at night. So about 10 o'clock, my mom says, lock all the doors and windows, don't let him in the house. Fine. So I lock all the doors and windows, and I'm asleep, and I'm just starting to nod off. Now, my dog barks, and I sleep right through it because my dog's an asshole, and he barks all the time. So I usually sleep right through it. But tonight, I know there may be a possibility of someone who's not supposed to be in the house trying to get into the house. So I hear the door. We have a security bar that's like in a hotel room that you can put on so nobody can open the door.
Right.
So I hear that the sound that door makes when it's trying to be opened against that bar is a very distinctive sound. And then my asshole dog, just insane barking. I'm like, great. I know that asshole is trying to get in the house. So I come downstairs. My sister left his phone with a really ridiculous, I don't know what the problem is. The problem is you're a crazy bitch and probably drove him to his very last end of his rope.
Right.
Because you shredded his clothes, you crazy bitch. Only crazy bitches do that. And you can't blame that on pregnancy hormones.
No.
Because
that's crazy bitch.
that's crazy bitch.
Yeah, you're right.
So I go downstairs and I hand him the phone and the note through the little slot in the door that's open. And I said, you need to call my sister. Well, she let the air out of the tires in his car.
Oh my God, crazy bitch too.
He goes, I need the air pump for my tires. I said, you're not getting in this house until you call my sister. So I hand him the phone.
Which is horrible to put you in the middle of all this
Exactly, because
drama.
she's staying at my mom's house because
that.
she doesn't think she can handle being home right now.
To leave you there to deal with it.
Right.
Yes.
That's
So this
fucked up.
is 10:30 at night. I'm now wide awake because I know something's going to happen and I can't go to sleep yet and I have to work the next day. So I'm up and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And finally, my mom calls me and says, you can let him in the house now. It's like an hour and a half later. So I go and I let him in and we start texting. And my mom and I about how crazy my sister is and she needs some serious therapy. And then I'm like, you know what? I should get one wish granted out of all of this shit that I've had to go through tonight. And my mom goes, anything. If I was your fairy godmother, I said, the only wish I have is that nobody smokes in the house anytime, anywhere. And she sent me a text back. She goes, I'll talk to them. So far, there hasn't been any smoking in the house.
Good. Is she still smoking, being pregnant?
Yes.
I hate that.
And there was one other thing that I got out of it too. Oh, I told her, seriously, this is like the second time this has happened. A third time, I'm leaving the door locked no matter what.
Right.
I'm not letting anyone back in the house,
Hell,
and I
if
don't care
come
who
down
they
from
are.
my sleep in bed.
And she goes, well, I'm the one who asked you this time. And I said, I don't care who asks me. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done with this. I'm out of this game. No longer boyfriend babysitting. And she goes, and I'm like, because really, should I be afraid for me, myself, my son, my stuff, my dog, for God's sakes?
Right.
And she's like, well, you should ask him that. So I went downstairs and I said, listen, you need to make a fucking decision. Either you're here or you're gone. No more of this in-between disappearing fucking bullshit. He's on this phone with my sister and he's like, oh, I'm like, no, I'm going to say my fucking piece. I'm not doing this anymore. You're either in or you're fucking out. That's it. Because I'm not dealing with it anymore.
Right.
And then I closed the door and he was out in the garage and I was going back upstairs and I came back down the stairs and I slammed the door open and I said, for God's fucking sake, lock the fucking door when you leave. Because he never locks the door. And then I went back to bed. So the math story, real quick. I heard a joke on Facebook, where I read a joke on Facebook about how many times can you get boyfriend's age into girlfriend's age.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a sex joke. So I sent a text to Cali Guy and I said, how many times can you get 56 into 34? Or I sent him I said, I need help with a math problem. So he calls me. He goes, okay, what's the math problem? I said, how many times can you get 56 into 34? And he goes, do you want a decimal answer? And I'm like, I'm laughing hysterically now. And I'm like, no, it's a silly little joke about our agent's sex. And he goes, oh, I get it. I totally had a pen and paper ready for you. He says, no joke, he says, because I figured if this math problem is too hard for you, I'm going to need to call you and talk to you over the phone about it.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, oh, babe.
You gotta love some Kelly guy.
My nerd. I love you.
You know what? We love Kelly guy.
We do. That's it. And we got to go.
We had a good show.
We did have a good show.
And good catch-ups. And next week, who do we have? I know I looked at the calendar today, but
we got 1 minute, ladies.
So, maybe we won't.
What month are we?
We are
June.
We have Darren Blastmaster Zulu.
Oh, yes, exactly. He's a DJ, and will be with us on Skype. Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Awesome.
So, thank you all for listening. Keep tuning in.
This is Sierra.
Sweet Cheeks.
And Toxie.
Reminding you all to have a good night. And remember, fuck often.